Blackburn Rovers make it 4 wins on the spin as they beat Red Hot Hull at Ewood Park. Is it too early for this bad boy? I don't think so. That's right, folks, back once again with another match review. This time looking back at Blackburn Rovers' absolute dominant performance up against Red Hot Hull at Ewood Park, where we end up being 3-0 winners, but we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, championship related, world football related. We're going to all hear under one roof. Now let's take a look at it in the match in a bit more detail. It did take place at Ewood Park. Rovers coming out on top, 3-0 winners. With goals from Armstrong early doors on the 10th minute, Rodwell on the 18th minute, and Harrison Reed late in the day, 73rd minute. 13,589 people were in attendance to watch the onslaught. It was a one-sided match. Wait till you see the stats, folks, a little bit. In fact, you can probably see them down there at the bottom of your picture. But what a standout performance by Rovers. Hull coming into this, remember, on an unbelievable streak, shooting themselves up from the table. They were in the old relegation spots early doors in the season, but they were now close to knocking on the doors of the playoff spots. But we did come out on top with a valuable 3-point win, a 3-goal win, should I say, over Hull to get us right back in the thick of things. You'll take a look at a little bit later on at the table. We are just 3 points adrift of those coveted top 6 spots. But anyway, quick look at some of the stats down here. Absolute dominant performance. 11 shots for Rovers, 4 for Hull. We actually had more possession compared to Hull as well. 59% compared to their 30 or 41%, should I say. Again, our pass success rate was higher than theirs as well. 71% of our passes were hit the old intended target. 64% of Hulls reached their target. We dribbled just about the same time as them, 8 times on the day. As for the aerial battles, we won more of those as well, 27 to their 16. More corners for Rovers, and Hull were dispossessed more times than we were as well. But ultimately, those goals, the first, obviously, quick-fire goal by Armstrong, good breakaway, good, excellent finishing, and composure by Armstrong to wrap up the 1-0. The second goal from a corner, Reed, I think, took it, bullet header, or kind of like a cushioned soft header by Rodwell to put it in the back of the net. And the third goal, excellent breakaway by Rovers, awesome hold-up play as well by Graham/Armstrong, I don't know who did. But ultimately, it ends up with Reed on the right-hand side, takes 2 bites of the cherry, and eventually dinks the ball over Marshall between the sticks. Anyway, let's take a look at the starting 11. First and foremost, Rovers. Raya in goal, Bell, Lenihan, Rodwell and Bennett, Evans and Travis in those holding midfields, Dack, Armstrong, Reed and Graham. Still no spot for Mulgrew, but there's no rush. He is an old-timer. He is a bit of a veteran, should I say. You know, a bit of patience. He'll get his opportunity to come back. The only, he is obviously the El Capitano for Rovers. And we do need him on the field at some point, but he's just going to have to bide his time. Rodwell, Lenihan looking absolutely solid, like they've been playing together for years, boys and girls. Anyway, quick look at my match ratings. It's a stellar performance by Rovers all throughout the pitch. Raya with a 6, Bell with a 7, Lenihan with a 7. Rodwell, for me, got a 9, and my own man of the match, Bennett with a 7, Evans with an 8, Travis at 8, Dack 7, Armstrong 8, Reed with an 8, and DG with a 7. And those numbers, they're just, you could easily see Graham with an 8 and Lenihan with an 8. But the only reason Raya got 6 is because he had bugger all to do. Just a couple of saves, so he was, but a clean sheet, 3 clean sheets on the spin, I believe. Millwall, Ipswich, and now whoever we had. Hull, of course, we just played them. I can't get them. Anyway, take a look at the Hull City starting lineup. Marshall looking to stick. Kingsley, McKenzie, Mazuch, Kane, Grzinski, Stewart, Henriksen, Bowen, Evandro and Martin. Obviously, red hot Hull were going into this with in-form Bowen scoring a bucket ton of goals. I think what was to our advantage was the centre-back pairing for Hull today, McKenzie and Mazuch. I don't think they are the tried and tested centre-back pairing. So we did take advantage of the youngster McKenzie at centre-back, and I think Graham took full advantage. Dack was his ever-present himself. Unfortunately, he could not get on the score sheet. He did have a couple of opportunities. And take a look at this. Hull City's 4 shots at goal. Absolute. It looks like they were hardly even in this game. If you take a look at the highlights, it's definitely a one-sided match. Probably the most one-sided game I've seen at Ewood in favour of Rovers in a long, long time. We could have had 6 or 7 goals if we're honest with you. But I think, again, finishing is ultimately the problem for Rovers. But if we can keep creating chances, that's all we need, boys and girls, all we need. More stats for you. 473 passes by Rovers on the day, 313 by Hull City. As for the touches, we had 616 touches compared to 493 by Hull. They had more blocks than us, 16 to our 9, more clearances as well. We were caught offside more than they did as well. Down the bottom there, you can see where on earth the shots on target or off target went. That can go with the picture up top. How about the heat maps, man? If you're a heat map man just like me, take a look at this. This is what the Rovers onslaught looked like against Hull. A lot of red areas on the field on the right hand side. And Armstrong and Reed flip-flopped all over the place. You just couldn't keep a hold of either of them. They have him marked down as the right-sided attacking midfielder, but he started off on the left, then he went on the right. He flip-flopped all over the place with Reed. Both of them on the score sheet today. And that is a recipe for goals, boys and girls. Armstrong looking the 4-man at the moment. Obviously, Bowen was 4-man going into this. Maybe we can take kick on and get ourselves a nice, decent run on our cards, and maybe push. Because right now it's a quiet push for those top 6 spots. A couple of teams didn't play today. They will resume action midweek. But right now we are in amongst the mix, just outside of it. Anyway, take a look at the other results this weekend. Obviously, there was FA Cup matches going on, but the other big ones, Leeds kept up their winning run, or kept up their points at the top of the table with a 2-1 win over Rotherham. Preston beat Stoke, who just can't get going under the new gaffer. Forest picked up the first win with a new manager, O'Neill. Wigan, though, slumped. Villa also getting another win, 2-1 win over Paul Lambert's Ipswich. They cannot get a win. And the other game, Norwich against United, was a 4-goal thriller. 2 goals apiece. And what has that done to the table? Let's take a look at it. Leeds are top of the pops with 3 points adrift of Norwich. Sheffield United are in 3rd, West Brom 4th, Middlesbrough in 5th, and Derby are in 6th. And that's the spot we are really chasing down. They do play, I think, midweek. Let's just back that up a hair. They do not play midweek. Bristol City up against Middlesbrough is the next one. And that is also one we will keep an eye on. Hopefully, I don't know, what do we want that to be? A draw or a win for Bristol City? I don't care. As for the bottom of the table, Ipswich are still propping up the table. Bolton are in 23rd and Reading in 22nd spot. Wigan, Rotherham just above them. As for Rovers, we are in 8th spot of the table. And again, 3 points just off of the playoffs. Next weekend, though, is a bit different matter. We go on the road once again to Brentford. Tasty on this one. Hopefully we can get another 3 points on the board. But it's one of those. It's one of those that could go either way. Where are Brentford in the table? Just a quick look. They're at 18th spot. So they are struggling. New manager in charge. But they're going to be difficult. As for today's opponents, Hull City, they'll go back home to the KCOM. Up against Stoke. It's a very winnable game for either one of those sides. So it might not be a bust for Hull City. They might just have a little bit of a bad one. Obviously, centre-backs missing today. Now you've had a little bit what I have to say about the match. What went on social media? Let's take a little look. Kirsty Ingram said this: "Love watching Rovers highlights when it shows 0 attacking opportunities for the opposing team. What a win. All the players were outstanding. Hashtag Rovers." George Dobson said this: "What a win against the form team in the league. We were fantastic. Yet another clean sheet. Would love to keep Rodwell and Reed beyond this season. Mowbray had a dream." Meanwhile, James Robertson, majestic from Rovers today, from 1 to 11. Outstanding. Jack Rodwell looks a player. Reed, Travis, Evans and DG class. Up the Rovers. Emma Hart said this: "Every single player on that pitch played well today. Was never going to be an easy game, but we made it look easy. Fantastic 3 points. Up the Blues." Michael Taylor, aka Marple Leaf, said this: "I daren't dream about what this team is capable of. Rovers were superb today." Meanwhile, Charlotte said this: "Never felt more like singing the blues when Rovers win and Burnley lose. Boys top class again today. Armstrong and Bennett." Fist pump. Northern Rover said this: "What a wonderful display by Rovers today. The total team performance. Special mentions for Messrs Evans and Rodwell. Both brilliant. Best home performance of the season against an informed Hull side." Rovers Chat, on the other hand, said this: "What a win. Dominated a team on an excellent run, and Rovers were a pleasure to watch. Brilliant from the lads." Tom Schofield said this: "Complete performance. The best I've seen in Ewood in a long time. Unbelievable." Meanwhile, Talk Blackburn said this: "Hull's unbeaten league run. ... Shame. If someone ruined it. Wink. Well done, Rovers. Brilliant all-round performance from everyone and another clean sheet." There is an accompanying GIF to that. You're going to have to hunt that yourself. Canadian Rover said this: "4 league games in a row, 3 clean sheets in a row. Rovers till I die." Hashtag Roverseas. That would be me. Meanwhile, Andy Bay said this: "Tony Mowbray has confirmed that Rovers have permission to speak to Harry Chapman, on a permanent deal. So we'll keep an eye out for that one." Meanwhile, a couple of the old players had a quick time to send a tweet. "Massive performance and a result today against the league's in-form side. Armstrong Reed with goals, non-stop work rate, and triple R. Royals Royce Rodwell with his first. Enjoy your weekend at Rovers. Meanwhile, Lenihan said this: what a performance from the lads. Every single player putting in a great shift. Another 3 performance and a clean sheet. We keep on going, Rovers. And also over on this side of the pond, the NYC Rovers with a picture. What a win, boys and girls. What a win indeed. Tremendous performance. Now you heard a little bit what I've had to say about the match, and you heard what the fans had to say about the match. What did the gaff have to say? Here he is with his comments after the Rovers win.
Oh, I think first half was as good as I can remember from them. I think considering the opposition, we played a team that have won 7 and drawn 3 of the last 10 in the league. It's yeah, it was good. We played like a top team first half today, where that denied the opposition opportunities. I can't remember a shot. I think they had a free kick late on, didn't they, that David caught. But apart from that, I can't remember them really threatening our goal because of the pressure, the intensity of the team, their drive to win the ball back out the pitch, their quality to keep the ball as well and probe down different sides of the pitch. It wasn't. Sometimes you can be accused of being a bit one-dimensional into Danny, who drops it for Bradley, but even though it's very effective. But I think Armstrong was a threat down the other side today, and yeah, I think overall the first half was as good a 45 minutes as I can remember. Second half, they played 2 up front. They changed a little bit. You had to have a look at it. You had to be disciplined and organised behind the ball. Make sure that you weren't left playing 4v4. You know, because their front 4 are very, very dangerous, as they've proven over the last few months. And yeah, listen, the third goal is always important, and we got it today. And happy with the result, happy with the performance. I think you could have picked half a dozen or more players who might have got that man of the match today. You know, Reedy got it, but once again, Rodwell was just oozing class and quality. Lenihan's a monster who wants to head every ball. You know, lots of good performances. So pleased today. Let's enjoy another good week's training and think about Brentford next week, which will be a different test against another team that's found real performance levels over the last few weeks. My analyst told me today or yesterday that Hull and Brentford and Bristol City are like in the top 3 of their of the form table, and they're like our next 3 games basically. So sometimes hits you like that, doesn't it? I used to talk over Christmas, didn't I, of playing back to back against Leeds and then Norwich and then Sheffield United, and you know, we had a massive run of games against the top 4 in the table, and at the moment we're picking the form teams to play, but you got to play them at some stage. So like today, we've managed to come out on top, and let's see what next week brings. Yeah, listen, and I talked last week how disappointed I was against Ipswich with the first half on the back of 130 minutes with the injury time on top of the extra time. It was really tough against Ipswich, to be honest, and that to find that intensity. But I give them Monday off, I give them Wednesday off. We had a pretty light week's training, and the energy levels were there for all to see today. And it's difficult to play against teams. You know, we played Liverpool pre-season, and I'm not saying we're Liverpool, but it's just the intensity of the top teams when they are in your face and nobody gives you a second to look forward and pick the right pass. It's very difficult to play against, and I thought we did that to Hull today. Really took them out of their stride and well, played a very good game. Yeah, I think so. And I'm delighted for Adam, because he spends a lot of time running up and down them wings, and he wants to play centre forward, and in time he will play centre forward for this club, I'm sure, and score bags of goals. At the moment he's doing an amazing job. You know, normally a creator, but he's hit a bit of form where whilst he's still created, as he did at Millwall, he's actually scoring as well. So and last week, of course, 2 goals were a penalty he got, and a brilliant cross for Nuttall. So delighted for Adam. We've been, you know, trying him over this week, playing on the other side of the pitch as he did for the second half last week, and it gives us a better balance at times, with Danny pulling naturally onto their right centre half on the left side of our pitch, attacking wise, and Adam playing off the other side. Gives the team 2 prongs to attack really, and that's been working okay.
Well, that's pretty much all I've got for you today, folks. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a good old thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button and keep your mind up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We're all here under one roof. And also check out the description. Links to my other social media platforms are in there. Twitter, Facebook, it is all in there. And while I've got you, make sure you drop your own comments about the match down there in the old comment section below. What you thought of the result. Because Rovers are on a run. 4 games unbeaten. Well, 4 games with 4 winning games, should I say. Not just 4 games unbeaten. 4 games on the spin with a win. 100% for 2019 in the league. Let's keep it going, boys. Up against a very tricky Brentford. We'll preview that match midweek. Probably Tuesday/Wednesday. We'll see. And if you are a Brentford fan by chance, probably not. But if you are, let me know in the comment section down below. We need to talk. We need to talk, folks. We'll talk about the preview the game and all that kind of good stuff. Anyway, I'm going to let you get out of here. Once again, if you enjoyed the video, smash the thumbs up. If you're new, smash the subscribe. I'll be right back here later on in the week with some more Rovers action.